Good Sunday morning, family. Let me say before we even get this video started, you may see this little guy bouncing all over the place, and yeah, he's sitting on the back of my office chair right now. But I was supposed to get up the video of how to we were supposed to prepare in these times, and biblically speaking, because we know there's a lot of great videos out there for people that want to prepare foods, or different ways of canning, or different ways of just basically surviving if and when something bad hits the United States. And I wanted to summarize a few things with that and on a biblical standpoint today. So if you are interested in hearing that, it's not going to take that long, and it's really good. Just hold tight with me, and I've got some great scriptures at the end for you guys to go to, and I'll read them to you. I think I've got 3, and then stay to the end because I really need y'all's prayer for something very huge in our life. So yeah, thank you for joining. If this is your first time, welcome back to the arms of Jesus. This is it's a channel for the prodigals that's returned, or the ones that have never slipped, never failed, or never backslid anyway. The ones that are new to Christ or just testing the waters. We open our arms with love and with hope to you. And that's what we're here for, is just to encourage and inform. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a prodigal returned that's saved by the grace of a good God. And I hope everybody's getting ready for church this morning. Okay, so let's get started. How can you prepare? Now, I know that we can come up with all different kinds of ways. There was a while that I was literally just flipping out and had subscribed to about 50 different preparation channels and prepping and this, that, and the other, homesteading, and I'm kind of into the homesteading thing because we've done that before. But that's not what this is about. Like, no one is immune to the world conditions that we're facing right now. The regular news that we watch, it's not going to tell you what's really going on. And I hate to tell you that. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, but if you're like me, you still catch yourself watching it and being like, okay, well, things don't seem so bad. Gas is high, but, it's not. That's like the least of it, guys. I talk to people that are in their late 80s, and they've never seen the world this way. Even like in World War II, it just happened, and it was a war, and it happened. And I'm sure there was things leading up to it and all of that. There had to be. But if you will watch the news out of Israel, Safari, I think is how you say it. Amir, A-M-I-R, I'm sorry. He is in Israel, and he used to be in the military there, so he does news, and it is right off the rip, by the minute, what's going on. I mean, they're in a war in Israel every day. Things are happening that were prophesied long ago, even back in Genesis. We're seeing things come to play. So, how can you prepare? With the uncertainty of the United States and the global economic situations that we're facing, and dangerous times ahead for the world, it would be wise to be prepared. in at least a basic way of emergency situations, right? Well, a good starting point is to have basic necessities like food and water stored, first aid kits. But this is a biblical principle. Proverbs 27:12 tells us, a prudent person foresees the danger ahead and then they take precaution. The simpleton, they go blindly on and they suffer the consequences. We know when we don't prepare. We know when we don't budget for our electricity bill that there's consequences to that, right? So we know that if the stores are getting ready to run short of bottled water or good, clean bottled water, and they are, I mean, everything is getting ready to go. I truly feel that in my spirit. And that's not watching any kind of conspiracy theory shows. I don't watch anything like that anymore. I simply listen to the Lord and I watch. Not saying that I know everything or I can see everything or all of that. I'm just saying that I don't want to be a simpleton that goes blindly and suffers the consequences. I've done that too much in my life and it doesn't work out. So, however, with our physical preparations, we must remember that the Bible emphasizes looking to God for our needs, as well as seeking His kingdom. We have Christ's own promise in us and for us that if we pursue His kingdom and a way of life first, a way of Christ-like life first, then God will provide our physical needs. It tells us that in Matthew 6:33. Christ also warns us to be vigilant concerning our spiritual state. Guys, now is not a time to say, you know what, I just don't really feel like going to church. I don't want to deal with people. And I'm not saying that church or a building is where it's at, because we are the church. I'm just saying don't put off the day of salvation any longer, because he can come in any moment like a thief in the night. After describing the calamities of the world to which he would return, Jesus said to his disciples, "But of that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven." Wow. Nor the Son, but only the Father. And that's told in Mark 13:32. The next verse there clearly shows us that we should continue to keep a watchful eye on the world trends, not what's trending on Twitter. That can give you some kind of insight, but look to the Word, because that's where you're going to see these prophecies and these things that are happening, the famines, the wheat being stopped. Think about that. And when was the last time that you guys seen just a regular bee like around your flowers or anything like that? How many of y'all are staying sick with some kind of cold constantly now? Just stay alert, for you do not know when the appointed time will come. In verse 33 tells us, it emphasizes that throughout. Christ then compared himself and his second coming to a man who traveled to a distant country. He left his servants in charge of his property, and he asked the doorkeeper, please, to stay alert. We ask our children to stay when we go away overnight at our house, and I say, please turn on the porch lights, stay alert, keep the doors locked, watch out for the animals. But Christ was telling us here in verse 33 to stay on the alert until he returned. Then he gives them a warning to his disciples a second time. Therefore, be on the alert, for you don't know what day or hour the master of the house will return. And I've told my children that before. Hey, we're going to be back in just, like 5 or 6 hours. And actually knowing that I was coming back in 3 hours just to make sure they were doing right. You know what? Parent hasn't done that, okay? I mean, I hope I'm not the only one. Anyway, and then he says again, and what I say to you, I say to all, watch. Don't be blinded. Don't be blinded by emotions. Don't let family things that are going on, chaos, the devil, the enemy, he's loose right now, and he is causing chaos here and there and anywhere he can. But remember, God is omnipresent, the meaning he's everywhere, all at one time. The enemy is not. He can just send out his sneaky little demons inside of people, and he uses people. So remember that it's not going to be the person that is the evil that is causing you distress or whatever it is. It's the enemy using them. Just like Jesus said, whenever they were just beating him. And I can't even imagine. I've been beaten so bad, and I am a more than a conqueror. I'm not a victim, but I'm more than a conqueror through abuse and all kinds. And it's very hard for me to think about saying during that, Lord, forgive them. They don't know what they do. And that's our Jesus for us. That's our Jesus for us. But I want to give you guys those scriptures real quick. So if you've got a pen, you may want to write these down because, guys, we need these in our hearts right now, okay? And they're about being prepared. So in 1 Samuel 7, 3. 1 Samuel 7:3 says, Then Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, If you return to the Lord with all your heart, then put away the foreign gods and goddesses, or Ashtoreth. I think I've said that. I don't know if I said that right. From among you, and prepare your hearts for the Lord and serve him only, and he will deliver you from the hand of the Philistines. So he's telling us here to prepare our hearts. Prepare our hearts for the Lord. Ask God to examine my heart, Lord. And anything that's not of you, get rid of it, weed it out. There's no time for foolishness anymore, guys. There really never has been, but we are down to the wire. I truly believe that. Truly believe that. All right, and then the second verse I have for you guys, saving the best one for last. Okay, and this is in John 14, and right before that in John 12, he talks about where he has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, lest they should see with their eyes, lest they should understand with their hearts and turn, so that I should heal them. So we do not want to be those people, do we? Like I do not want. It's hard to have a soft heart in these days. It's really hard. But with Christ, we can do all things. Without him, we can do nothing. So, okay, we are in John 14:1. And it's titled, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. For in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and I prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, know that where I am, there you may be also. I need my glasses this morning. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. So you know the way to get to where he's at, right? It's through Jesus Christ, accepting him, asking for forgiveness, repenting, and then believing upon Christ. Ask him into your heart so that he's telling you, I'm going away for a while, but I'm going to prepare a home for you in my Father's mansion. Guys, we all get a mansion. No more trailers or tiny homes or whatever. No more mortgages, no more mortgage rates increasing. None of that. We get to be with our Father who created us with his hands, with his breath. It gives me just the goosebumps, the God bumps. All right, so the best one I saved for last. It's in 2 Timothy 4. And this is him telling us to preach the word. And this is concerning these days, guys. He's telling us what to do in these days to be prepared. And the bit that I read you, it came out of a Christian magazine that I get from Charles Stanley and Dr. David Jeremiah. And I would love to have read the whole thing to you. But anyway, the last verse is in 2 Timothy 4:1. I charge you, therefore, before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who will judge the living and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word. Be ready in season and in out of season. Convince, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears. Itching ears, they just want to hear something that makes them feel so good and warm and fuzzy inside. They don't want to be told, nobody wants to be told the truth in love. That, hey, you know what? Did you ever think that maybe, you're living with this man and y'all aren't married and that's just, and the word says that's not right. Did you ever stop to think that the words that you use that come out of your mouth with God before it or after it, that's not good. It can get you into hell. You can tell people things and rebuke them with love. It doesn't have to be an argument. And if they don't accept it, we are to shake the dust off of our sandals and go on, because we can't be, maybe God doesn't want us to be the one, but we are to preach the word. We are all called to ministry. We all have a ministry to preach and share the word, to rebuke, to I lost myself. Okay, to convince people. And we don't even have to use words for that. Guys, you can convince someone that you belong to Christ just by the way you carry yourself. You no longer wear things that show all parts of your body, your different parts that nobody needs to see except for your spouse. We no longer use the words that we used to use, and we no longer get as angry as we used to, or they hear or see us praying or we pray for them, or there's just a difference because we have Jesus inside of us. That may be the only Jesus someone ever sees. Remember that. If nothing else out of this, these are the days that people that don't have Jesus need to see us representing Jesus. Not just a Jesus shirt, not that. I'm talking about true walk. What can I do for you? Can I help you? Find your mission. Find your gift that God gave you. He gave us all something. And then convince, rebuke in love, exhort, and with all long suffering. That means they're going to get on your nerves. It's going to be a tiring race to the finish, y'all. But we can finish our race. We can. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves many teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth. And they'll be turned aside to fables. But you will be watchful. You will be watchful. In all things, you will endure afflictions. You will do the work of an evangelist. You will fulfill your ministry. And 2 Timothy 4:7 says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. And it's easier to read those words than it is to do them. I know. So what's some ways that you guys are maybe getting prepared? Or I know a lot of people are worried about their children going to heaven, or their family members, or their friends, or loved ones. How about, is it hard for you guys to share the word or to rebuke a friend in love? I have a really great sister, Michelle. She rebukes me, or she does it so lovingly. And she speaks the truth to me in love. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference. It can run somebody off. But if you truly love Christ and you don't want to see your friend go to hell, then you'll tell them. Tell them today. Don't wait another day and say, oh, I'll wait until I feel like it, or I need to study more, or whatever. Study together. You never know. Start a Bible study in your neighborhood. Put a sign on everybody's porch or door or something. But we've all been called to ministry, and we've all been called to preach the word. Doesn't mean that we all stand behind pulpits and do it, but social media is crazy. It is insane. I don't understand it. And maybe it's just because I'm an old fogey, but I don't understand how 9 and 10-year-olds can get on TikTok or whatever it is and do just gyrate, I'll call it, around, when if our daughter was 9 or 10 and gyrating around for the internet, there would be no internet ever again until she was 50. But I guess what I'm saying is that people have turned away from hearing the truth. If you go through little Christian channels like this, they'll have 100, 200 subscribers, few likes. They have the main people that are there. And I always do. I do. And I love you guys. Mickey, Polly, Michelle. You guys are always there to hit the like button and comment and try to get conversations going. And you each have a ministry, and you each reach people differently. We all do. We all have something in us that God put in us specifically to reach others. And we may not be no Billy Graham. However, we've been called to ministry, and now's the time. Now is the time to prepare the way for the Lord. Stock up on water and food too, yeah. Don't be a hoarder. Other people need it too. But be prepared. Keep looking. Keep praying. Seek Him with all your heart. And then go out and tell someone about Him. He charged us to do it. That means we're charged with it. And when we get there, He's going to say, I charged you to go out and preach the word. I don't see here that you did. What would our answer be? Well, God, I have 2 dogs and now a cat, and I'm just like, it was just so busy. I was just so busy. That's why in Proverbs, I think it is, he talks about busybodies. Busybodies don't accomplish anything, because I was one. Sometimes still can be. Anywho, I've kept you guys for almost 30 minutes. I'm so sorry, but it was such a great word that I had to share it. I had to get it out there. And now that you guys have heard it, then now you are charged with that. And that is that's just me telling you with love to go out and tell someone what God has done for you, how He's changed your life. It's not an easy way. And we often get angry and say, you know what, God, I see these people out here running around just doing whatever they want. They've got the nicest cars and boats and, they can just do anything. That's not true. God said it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for, what's the last of that? Then a camel to go through a needle, the eye of a needle. I think that's how it is. Correct me. Mickey, you probably know it. I got the Bible right here to look it up, but I'm closing this up because I know you guys, half of you have already clicked off. But try to get to church today, guys, and just sit down and listen. You'd be surprised sometimes how you'll hear a message like this, and then you'll get to church and God will confirm that you needed to hear it. So don't be letting the ears get tickled. If it makes you feel warm and fuzzy all the time, and then it's probably not the truth. And show love. Above all, show love. We love Him because He first loved us, remember? So with that, I am going to real quick tell you guys what I need prayer for, and then I'm going to hop off here and go get ready for church. So we sold the house within 2 hours of the showings. It was totally a God thing. Now we are in the stages of buying the land and getting that done, and it's all literally God has to orchestrate it. I can't explain it. The way that the money is and the way that things are, and God has to orchestrate it. And we said, if this house sold for this specific number, then we would take that as God. And when we prayed, we said, God, this is your deal, not ours. You take it over. And we literally had like 8 people within maybe 2 hours. And I mean, it was gone. But I mean, we're still here. We'll be here for a little bit longer still. But please pray. Pray, please. Because if not, then that puts us homeless. So it was really a jump of faith. But there's a lot of reasons why we done this. A lot of reasons. So if you could just pray that we can get this land bought and that behind us and start